doing is installing our magazine release and bolt catch, that type of stuff. So what we'll need, you really don't need any tools for this operation, unless you are a tool yourself, which I'm sure you probably are, as am I, as completely evident by the terrible, terrible joke that I just tried to make. So I digress. You have your trigger guard on with the rivet pressed in. These are the parts you're going to need. This is actually your ejector. Most likely that spring will already be attached here. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get you guys in where you can see here. Sorry. You're going to need that right there. And I'll come over here. I'll zoom in to where you all can see, and I'll have to move it again. One-man operation here. You need your ejector. You need this spring, and it's attached to the longer solid piece there. Almost looks like a pin. You're going to need pretty much the smallest diameter as far as the wire diameter spring you've got. The other choices that you could possibly have are just nowhere near the ballpark. You need this one right here. Now, the next spring you're going to need, this spring, the only other spring that has a bigger wire diameter than this one is the hammer spring, and it's a double wire. So this spring should be fairly easy to pick out. If I put this one up here, you see, I'm sorry for all the shakiness, I'm leaning over the bench. See the one with the little detent on it? See how much smaller it is? So you're going to want that larger spring. You want your magazine release and your bolt latch there. So let me now move the camera again. High quality production right here, my friends. Alright, what I like to do is I'll take this unit here, and it's pretty convenient because it lets me put these receivers right there. So what we'll do, let me move them all around here where I can see. Now, this gun is terribly notorious for, if you do not have the sequence of parts going in right, it's not going to work. Pretty much the first thing that goes in is going to be your bolt catch, and it gets the thin wired spring. It's going to go right here into this hole. Turn my camera where I can see. And there we go. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that spring, and it's going to go right down into there, into that recess. Alright. Now that's going to go right up in there. So I'll just take it. You'll see the hole right in there. That round hole is where the shaft of this goes up. Your spring is just going to go in that little indentation there. It's going to fit in just like that. And you're going to see the top of that coming out right here. Now, you want to take your magazine release and it's going to go in. Now, it can only really go one way. I guess it could go two ways. See that little nipple there, little ear sticking out? That goes at the 12 o'clock position. 12 o'clock position, and it's going to fit into that notch. Right like that. Now, don't be a moron like me and forget to put the spring in. So, spring you're going to need is this heavier spring. That is your magazine catch spring. It'll fit right down in there. And then, put it in. Right in there. Now, with that in there, it will hold. With that in there, it'll hold your bolt release there. Now, while you're holding, the entire time I was holding the bolt release up. Because by holding it up, it allows you to get this in. So then you hold this, and you can let off on the other one. And now you want this piece. It is going to go spring down into this hole right here. And once it's in there, you can press this down and let off on your magazine release, and that'll hold that in. And now this piece here is going to slide in. Let me get it to focus for you. This piece is going to slide right in here. It goes underneath those lips, just like that. And what we've got to do is take a punch or whatever, push that down, and slide the ejector over it. See what I'm doing there? Just slide. I'm going to slide it over there. Once you heard that click, that was that coming up there into that hole in the ejector. And at this point, make sure that all of your buttons work, that the springs spring, and you're in good shape. So there's that part. That is that's a big part of getting your sequencing right. And once that's done, you can do all the trigger stuff. We're going to put the rear sight on. These are the parts you're going to need. trying to get y'all over here where you can see this. And pushing it in and getting it ready to go. It is not easy. Now I'm going to stake this. It's not necessarily called for, but it's something that I like to do. And I use these automatic punches. You want to make sure everything's supported. Find a good spot. Try and get it locked in there. And now I'm going to put on some of this wicking grade loctite. Well, that came out a little faster than I meant for it to. I'm going to get some brake parts cleaner. I don't want that in there like that. It came out real fast, so I'm going to spray brake parts cleaner in there. And we'll clean that out and start over. Move it. There we go. Fast again. There we go. A little lube in there will take care of the notchiness that it will have. A little lube and it'll be alright. If you look down in there, whenever you have this facing forward or back, you'll see a hole within the hole. That's where you can lube the spring and everything for your sight. Now I like to put just a little bit down here. And we're going to wipe the excess off. It shouldn't be easy to flip. It needs to be pretty tight. There you go. You can always lube it beforehand. But the problem is that it's so hard to get on there anyways. If you try and lube it beforehand, it'll be almost impossible to hold on to everything and get that detent and everything in. So there I'm going to drop a little bit more down into the hole there. Do it a little closer where you guys can maybe see it. It'll just suck it right down in there. So then we'll wipe it down and we're done with that.